Colorado's race for governor saw a bit of a shakeup this week. Democratic candidate Noel Ginsburg dropped out of the race following the underwhelming response at precinct caucuses earlier this month. And on the Republican side, Colorado Springs businessman Barry Farah launched his campaign claiming to be, quote, a true conservative who has a credible chance of winning in the general election. Let's see, David, we didn't get to you to start a topic last time, so let's just start this one. What do you think about the recent shakeup? Was Ginsburg really ever in it? And what about this Barry Farah guy?
Well, maybe, in retrospect, you could say Ginsburg never had a chance. But, as the lottery ads used to say, you can't win if you don't play. We've certainly had people in American history have won governorships from a more quixotic starting point than Noel Ginsburg did. For God's sakes, Donald Trump is the president of the United States. So, why not? If you want to, give it a try, and I'd say good for him for giving it a shot and seeing what happened. And I guess I'd say the same thing for Barry Farah. It doesn't seem likely, but you never know. And if you think you'd be a good governor, why not? Obviously, he would have increased his chances by starting sooner. But it's nice the system is open enough for that. I would say this, another piece of big news in the governor's race is Michael Bloomberg coming to the rescue of Mike Johnston. Mike Johnston's 9% in the caucus was a catastrophe for him, and he was down in perception. And then, Mr. Moneybags comes in and says, well, here's $1 million, and that helps Johnston a lot. And so we know that if Johnston wins, Colorado will be governed nominally from the state capitol, but more so from Bloomberg's mansion.
Eric, the developments on either side, does this tighten up considerably the Democrats, or did Noel really have too much to offer to the other candidates who are running?
Let me hit both sides quickly. On Noel Ginsburg, I don't think it changes the fundamental equation. Most people think it's becoming largely a three-horse race. Polis, Kennedy, Johnston, in whatever order. Donna Lynn needs a jump start if she's going to be a part of this equation, and we'll see if she can get a jump start. I need to say Noel Ginsburg is a very mature individual. He's a personal friend, even though I'm not playing in this race in any way, shape, form. He knew what the odds were going in. He knew it was a long shot, but, per the lottery line, he decided, lightning does strike. Witness Federico Pena, witness Donald Trump. And as he put it to me over coffee once, I'm going to swing my golf club and see if I can get lightning to strike. Well, lightning usually doesn't strike, and it didn't here, and he made the decision to get out. It is rare you see a candidate to run for high office like that and emerge with their reputation not tarnished in any way. There is no one out there saying bad stuff about Noel Ginsburg. He made a credible and a good impression. On Barry Farah, I don't know the gentleman. It just strikes me that any chance the Republicans have to coalesce around Walker Stapleton, they do anything possible to avoid doing that. They'll keep throwing new wild cards in to avoid that coalescing.
And how about that last one with Barry Farah? It does seem that if someone's willing to even attempt a campaign the end of March in a gubernatorial year, that it's clearly indicative that there's not a front runner in the GOP race.
Well, it is also indicative of how weak the GOP caucus system is right now, because Walker Stapleton is not going through it, Doug Robinson is not going through it, Victor Mitchell is not going through it, Cynthia Kaufman is going through it, and she jumped in largely because she looked at the rest of the field, this being Steve Barlock, Greg Lopez, et cetera, and said, even as the moderate to liberal candidates in this race, I can still win the GOP caucus because there's not a serious conservative candidate in there. Well, Barry Farah, and I must admit, I don't know Barry Farah, but he clearly saw that opening to say, okay, a conservative can go in and they can get easily 30% of the vote, which is what you need to make it on the ballot, and possibly even more. So I think it just speaks again to the conservative wing of the Republican Party disdaining Cynthia Kaufman more than anything else. I struggle to see where he's going to out conservative Stapleton at this point. But it shows that there's still some room to play here.
Patty, wrap it up for us.
Well, lightning has struck before, not just Pena, but Hickenlooper, who was polling at 3% when he first got in the race for mayor and now is governor. But I don't see lightning striking Barry Farah. I mean, we just don't get a feel of a lot of charisma, which is really a problem in the Republican Party right now. No one is making a dent. It's just a lot of white bread. In the Democrats, I think We'll see a bump for Johnston after the march for Our Lives Tomorrow. He was early out on the gun issue. That was his first TV ad even before he got the Bloomberg support, or this wave of Bloomberg support. So I think we'll see a little more bump, but still it's much tighter with Kerry Kennedy than we would have thought before, that she did really, really well in the caucus. And I'm guessing Donna Lynn may hang on, but I don't think she is going to actually be in this horse race.